Ooh, what's up and welcome in to this post-game pod of the Program Guys podcast. Oklahoma Sooners beat the Iowa State Cyclones 27-13 in Ames, Iowa. OU improves to 5-3 on the season, 2-3 in conference play. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Program Guys with a Z, Instagram, Program Guys with a Z. However you get your podcast, that's where you can find us. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Boys, 27-13, opening thoughts before we dive into the offense.
Best win of the season.
Michael Turk doesn't get enough. He needs more.
Yeah, Michael Turk's that dude.
He's actually really good.
He is.
We won't dive too deep, but Michael Turk's that dude.
Yeah, he is. He is. Matt, what'd you see?
Boomer Sooner. I can't wait to talk about them boys today.
Patrick, I interrupted you again.
No, just overall a really great win. I'm really happy with it.
All right, awesome. Pat, you feeling okay?
Yeah, doing great.
Just make sure.
It's Halloween weekend, so I'm feeling something.
Well, you consume some adult beverages?
Maybe one.
Okay, there you go. Patrick covering. Comment down below if you're feeling like Patrick is.
If you're as rowdy as Patrick is this weekend.
It's literally 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
like the video.
Yeah, like the video.
He's on the West Coast. It's like
2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, Pat,
better.
Pat had to get up and watch that game at 9 a.m. My guy.
That's true.
My guy struggling.
Yeah, that's always rough.
Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't even wake up at 9 a.m. today.
Yeah,
It's wild.
And I didn't do what you did last night.
right.
I know.
That's
Let's talk about the game. OU puts 27 points on the board to win the game. And let's start with the offense. What do we see from the offense? What I did is running the ball. Eric Gray looked really good again.
Looked great.
He read blocks so well, all day long. And I feel like aside from his fumble, he played a darn near perfect game. He was really, really good. Dylan Gabriel, I thought, was, credit to him, more accurate than he's been all season. I think the downside is definitely, for me, Marvin Mims just dropping passes, and I just don't understand why. And I don't think Marvin does either, honestly. I think it's a one-off game, and I don't think it's anything to worry about, but it wasn't fun to see big opportunities wasted.
Can we take this kind of piece by piece?
Yes.
Just quarterback, right?
Mhm.
Dylan, this might have been Dylan's best game.
Definitely.
And he threw for 148 yards and 1 touchdown.
Which is,
I thought the ball
Correct.
was where it needed to be
wasn't.
every time. The mistakes were not on him. That's on receivers.
Yeah,
And-
he had one high pass, one to Farouk, who somehow caught the ball. I don't know how he caught that ball.
He's a
Another guy who
freak.
had a really good game. Another guy who had a really good game.
But
Pat-
I mean, I
Ryan.
sorry, I just agreeing with Mark there. I mean, I weirdly enough, it wasn't as explosive as last week, but this is the best defense in the Big 12 that we just played, just on rushing and total yardage. Dylan looked great. Our offense looked great, other than the fourth quarter, which I thought we kind of just stilted ourselves at that with some play calling. But overall, really good game by the offense.
Well,
Matt-
and then if you look at, sorry, go ahead, man.
No, I was
Mark
just gonna
always
say-
dominating the conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
You
Cam.
too. It's hard to get in a word with you guys here. No, DG statistic wise, it's not going to blow you out off the water, right? 15-26, 148. But relying heavily on the run game is all DG really need to do is just make those execution passes on third downs, finding the guys. Thought he did that all day. I think his stat line would have been better if Marvin Mims would have caught some of those deep balls. He could easily had over 200 plus yards and a couple more touchdowns. So I think he did exactly what he needed to do, especially against the Iowa State defense, which I said last week or on our preview pod. They're not going to give up a lot of explosive plays. He just needs to take what the defense gave him all day, and that's exactly what he did.
You're right. Pat?
Yeah, Dylan did great and did a really good job protecting himself too on those run plays. Really happy to see him get down as quick as possible. You guys keep saying the offense played well. I agree, but we didn't score a point on an offensive point until the third quarter. So not great.
Like a touchdown.
Yeah,
you mean.
but I
I get what you're saying.
Touchdown. Sorry.
I just look at it comparatively. In my mind, we were 2, maybe 3 dropped passes away from having 40 points.
We were
against this defense, who on average was giving up, I don't know how I have the number right here, but I think it was 15, 16 points a game or something along those.
Yeah,
15 points a game. I mean, that's really impressive. And away in Ames, I think it's really good. I think it's really good.
I don't know how many times OU has to get stuffed up the middle on a short yardage run to like not do them anymore near the goal line. I'm pretty much over that. We need to stop doing that. The one that they did score, wasn't it the Wildcat where they're like 5 yards out?
Snap to Eric Gray. Braden
Yeah.
Willis leading the hole.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying
that.
do that every time, but like that's what works, and not directly under center or in the shotgun and just run it up the middle behind Andrew Rain. Like that's just not going to work. It's just not. Go ahead, Mark. I interrupted you.
No, you didn't. I was about to say, I do think this was one of Eric Gray's best games of the season as well. And he only comes away with 20 for 101. He's had better box scores before, but following his blockers, running through arm tackles, making guys miss. This was the Eric Gray. If you could distill Eric Gray into a football game, I think we got it today.
His spin moves were awesome.
Beautiful.
He was patient. He waited, and like you could see him reading all of that. And again, the best rush defense in the Big 12. So he played really well.
To me, Eric Gray, and like this is gonna sound like Mason, holy crap, chill out. But to me, his run style reminds me a lot of like Le'Veon Bell, prime Steelers Le'Veon Bell, with how patient he is and how stuff develops in front of him, or he hits it out the backside or stuff like that. Because Eric Gray is not going to blow you away with his speed, and neither was Le'Veon Bell, but their quickness and their decision making was what made them so great. And I think that's what I see. And I'm not saying he's going to be Le'Veon Bell, but just the similarity, it's fun to see. Matt, what did you see from the running backs?
Well, I think if we're going to talk about running backs and what DG was able to do, we got to give credit to the offensive line. They were making those gaps, and they were getting on top of people and being aggressive to allow DG to sit back in there and find those guys and allow Eric Gray to find those holes and be patient. So really credit to the offensive line. Not a lot of pressure on DG today. I thought they played probably one of their best games, or at least complete games here today. So got to give a lot of credit for opening up those holes for everybody.
Anton Harrison had a great game. There was
one
multiple
holding penalty. One holding penalty that really stood out, but other than that, a very good game.
And like
for him.
The holding penalty, you definitely could have called it, but like.
But if you call that, there's a hold on every offensive play.
It was pretty weak.
I know. So, but
we got a good whistle today. I'm not too mad.
We got really good whistles today.
That first interception was a gift. That was not
dude. I don't know how you.
That was not a pick.
I don't know how you don't turn that over, but
I have no idea. By the way, none of us were at the game. By the way, we were all watching from home, so watching on TV. Pat, I think you had something to add. No, okay,
no, all good.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Marcus Major doesn't have whatever Marcus Major had at the beginning of the season. And with Eric Gray's injury at the end of the game, maybe injury, right? Maybe he'll be fine. Just go see the trainer for a bit, whatever. If not, Javante Barnes needs to be ready for a heavy load next week, because that's the guy. Marcus Major isn't playing like it.
No,
we know. I heard he was sick, and that's the reason he was not playing today. But do we know like for sure? Was there like any kind of communication? Okay,
I haven't seen the post game presser. I'm sure Brent will elaborate, but as of now, I don't know. No.
Yeah. So offensive lineman Guyton was out too, but he was at a funeral, so I did see that confirmed by Twitter. So
it's too bad.
Yeah, that's hard.
So yeah, that's tough. But overall, I mean, credit to Jalou Farouk. I thought he had a really good game as well.
Great game.
It's fun to see him. The drop passes are just what is going to stick out to me. That deep ball to Theo, he should have caught. Like,
yes,
you got to catch that pass, man. Like
Mims had 3 drops that he should have caught.
One would have been negated on the first play of the game by a hold or whatever it was anyway. But still, man, like you're out the gate to start and you drop that, and then he drops another one that was for sure a first down. It just that we needed. It was it was like in the fourth quarter, and they were down by 7. And we had to get a first down, and he dropped it. It's just,
this was the worst game of Marvin Mims' Oklahoma career.
Yeah. Braden Willis had a drop.
This was. Braden Willis only goes 2 for 8. He has a bad game too.
Yep.
One thing, Theo Weiss had at least one drop. There was a slant pass that I don't remember if it was a drop or if he just couldn't get there, but he ended up with no catches, and I think those were his only 2 targets. Couple that with Gavin Freeman's emergence in the offense. I worry about what we have with Theo, man. I know we felt good about it coming out of the Kansas game, but
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, he's got to catch the ball, or else
He's
they're
gotta
not
catch the
gonna,
ball.
or else
That's
they're not
the-
going to throw it to him. So
He's
like
gotta
that's
catch
the
the football.
answer.
Pat,
So,
Matt, anything else to add on the offense?
Farouk played an awesome game. I'm just continuously excited to see him play.
Love him.
He gets better every week, man. He
Yeah.
really does, and
Mhm.
it's fun to see for sure.
One thing, I've been super positive about the offense, and I still am positive about the offense. One thing that I don't love that we have started doing more and more are these sweeps. I just like
Jet
I
sweep.
I just like I don't love them, and we do a lot of them, and we did a lot of them, especially at the beginning of the game. And I just didn't really love that play calling. I think one is fine every now and then, but shake it up a little bit. And especially like our play calling as we got into the fourth quarter and it got a little closer. It's way too conservative. They were throwing behind the line of scrimmage on like a 2nd and 12. Like, don't do that. So overall, very happy with the offense, but I still think there's opportunity for this team to be even better when it comes to offense.
Matt, final thought on the offense?
Yeah, I'll say again, not super explosive today, right? We barely had over 250 yards of offense. Again, against a great Iowa State defense, when they play the 3 down linemen, they're going to have more people in coverage. You're not going to give up the explosive play calls. But DG, the offense took what they did. And I thought we were very aggressive in the very beginning of the game. We were very putting them to them. We dictated exactly what we wanted. Came up a little bit short, but I do love the aggressive play call for the field goal kicker, Kyle Smith, to get in the end zone. I love that. We needed it. And like Tyson said, a little too conservative. So we need to keep the foot on the pedal for the entire game, but definitely like the play call coming out of the gate.
Mark, anything else on the offense?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
We're scheming more plays for Jalil Farouk than we are for anyone else on the offense. That
Feels
is
that way.
noticeable, and
Mhm.
it means something. He might be the most explosive guy we have on the offense, especially with Marvin Mims iffy. On that point, this offense really managed today with Marvin Mims not playing well.
Yeah.
And that's something we should acknowledge and be happy about, because we stayed in the game against the best defense in the Big 12 without our best player.
I can agree with that. Zach Schmidt was the one who had that fake field goal, ran it in at the one. That was really fun
Awesome.
to see. I'm
Can
going
we-
to tie it into offensive discussion.
Okay.
just
Are we
because
talking about special teams? Because our
Yeah.
special teams,
Yeah.
like this whole year has been really good, but
Mhm.
today especially, like Schmidt was fantastic. Michael Turk, incredible, had some incredible punts. Really like helped us in a very dire situation at the end when our offense just like completely imploded on itself. We were only up by 7, and he pinned him down at like the 2-yard line. Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Pinning
for
him at the
us.
2 is the end of that football game.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if
Yeah.
they get the ball at the 35 instead, just on
Yeah.
a good punt return, they might score.
Yeah.
We're still playing ball.
Pat, Matt, anything on that?
Covered it.
I thought it was fun to go at the beginning of the game and you're going fake field goal and you're just
I loved it.
it just shows your team, shows the fans, shows the players, hey, we're here to play today and we're here to win. We're not messing around.
We're
So
kind
that
of
was-
playing like we had nothing to lose in that scenario too. Like, let's just go for it, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's what you have to do the rest of the
Yeah.
year at
Yeah.
this
Oh
point.
yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
You're not,
In this conference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
We've seen more fake field goals this year than we saw the entire Lincoln Riley era.
Well, I was gonna ask, like,
Yeah.
when is the last time that we faked a field goal for a touchdown? Have we
2016 Michael Honeycutt.
There
Oh,
we go.
okay. There
Matt.
we go.
Yeah.
With the stats.
Yeah,
ready to
they
go.
brought up the stat after he scored that, so that's how I know that.
Did
Because
it?
I was thinking
Okay.
the exact same thing, but man, I haven't
Okay.
heard that name in a long time either. But
No.
like to play.
Remember when we called him Money Cut?
I
And
do
then he
remember that.
lost it senior year, like all
Yeah.
our kickers do.
Yeah, and remember when we thought Gabe Burkich was a god and then he kicked a burrito and he sucked? Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
Not the
Okay.
burrito. Not bringing up the burrito right
Sorry.
now.
All right, we're done. All right, let's move on to the defense. Comment down below, guys, if you're watching our YouTube channel, what you thought of the offensive performance as well as the special teams. Defense, guys, I'll get us started because I was saying this before we got started. Deshaun White played his ass
Yeah,
off.
Michael Honeycutt was not a punter for OU in 2016. I'm sorry.
Kicker.
Kicker.
Yes, he was.
No, he
2016.
wasn't. He was
Yes, he was.
arrested in 2016 for drug
The-
charges.
The
but he
rivalry
Oh,
continued.
you from 2011 to 2014. I'm so sorry. Also, I was right about the
Maybe it was 2014.
And
then.
you need to get out of
2014.
here, Matt.
This is the most incredible thing.
2014, 2016.
We're gonna let
Mason.
Mason continue running this podcast. Just let the scoreboard show Hall 1, Gan 0.
But
That's fair.
he's still the last kicker. So shut up.
Okay,
Mark.
you're right. He was the last kicker. You just got the year wrong. That's okay. We're all good. Deshaun White played his ass off on the defensive side of the ball, and Deshaun White deserves a lot of credit. There was a drive where it was literally the Deshaun White show for like 3 plays in a row.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see. He led the team in tackles, 14 total, 10 solo, 1.5 tackles for loss for Deshaun White. He's my MVP on the defensive side of the ball for sure. And if he plays like that, I was telling the guys before we started recording, that's why Jaron Kanak doesn't play if Deshaun White plays like that.
Yep.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like, I will not complain if Deshaun White plays like he did today. And that's all.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the defense played pretty well. I mean, as I think, an improvement from the 3 weeks that we had, the 3 weeks of dark days for OU football this year. I think they played pretty well. I wouldn't say like they played a perfect game by any means. I think most of that comes to the fact that I don't think Iowa State's offense is very good.
No.
And I think they showed that today more than anything. But I mean, the biggest thing for me, 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions, huge. One of those should not have been an interception, but it was. So 3 turnovers. That's massive. I think it was Gan who said, like, on our main pod this week, that whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win this game, and we did. Even if you take away that interception, we still had 2. And I give so much shit to Danny Stutzman, and he gave up a touchdown in this game. That's bad. It was horrible.
It was really bad.
Atrocious. But then on the next series, or really close to that, he got like basically the game-winning pick. So like that's
which, like, you're right. Like, he 100% did.
But
I'm not in a position to give him credit for that, because they literally threw it right to him. And like,
that's a quarterback not seeing the linebacker.
I could have caught that ball, is what I'm saying. I mean, like, I have to give him a little bit of credit for making that, but
that's fine.
At the same time,
I mean, you got to catch it for sure. Yeah,
you have to catch it, and we were having trouble catching the ball today on both sides. So you know what? Overall, thought they played well. Thought they didn't play perfect, but they played well, and our combined with our offense playing really well, we had a really good game. So.
Pat, get in there.
Yeah, Iowa State only had 66 rushing yards. I thought we had an
Amazing.
awesome game at defense. I think the bye week really helped out. I think, they probably did a lot of studying over the last 2 weeks, and I hope that this is a sign in this kind of effort, and not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. This continues instead.
To that point, the run fits were incredible.
They were.
That's all I have on that.
Yeah.
It's just every single time, defensive line right there, linebacker right there, DB. Right
I thought Danny Stutzman played a lot better against the run. He doesn't know where he's at in coverage, and I just don't understand it.
Yeah,
but he played a lot better in the run. I've given a lot of crap to Danny over the past couple of weeks, but he deserves credit where it's due. He did. You mentioned run fits, and that's just why I thought of it. Matt, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Now, since we're on the Danny Stutzman thing, Mark or Mason, can you read out your tweet that you tweeted today, and then the quote tweet that you put on it as well?
Oh yeah. So if you follow me on Twitter at Mason Prince TV, you can find me at Mason Prince TV.
TV.
So
TV.
That's how I keep my verification, my blue badge. So I tweeted out, it's hard. This is right after Danny Stutzman gave up that touchdown to cut the lead to 7. I said, it's hard to not know what you're doing more than Danny Stutzman when he's in coverage. Completely lost at all times. And then, the drive, 2 drives later, he picked it off, and I quote tweeted myself, and I said, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So,
it sure does.
Yeah, it sure does. All right, Matt, I'm tired of go, Matt, do it.
No, that was a great tweet. I'm glad we can.
Wait, let's read more tweets, guys.
I love that. Thank you, Mason.
No, Tyson covered a good amount of it. I said in the preview pod, the turnover battle is going to win this game.
You did.
Were we gifted one? Sure, but I'm not complaining. I'm going to take it. I have no problem with it. It clearly hit the ground, but that was a big point in the game because they were driving and we got it, and I'll take it. And that really jump started the offense, I think, from there. won the turnover battle. Rush defense was incredible, filling all the holes. Not a lot of missed tackles today. I think the biggest thing for me was not giving up explosive plays, especially to Xavier Hutchinson. I think they kept that a lot under wraps. I think the secondary, especially Woody Washington, they were blank coveraging a lot of people. Of course, is Decker going to find people? Yeah, you're not going to be perfect on every pass play, but I think for the majority of the game, they did a really good job in coverage. Xavier Hutchinson only had 10 for 72. When you keep a guy like that under 10 yards per catch, I will take that all day. He can have as many receptions as he was like. So I'm really glad we limited the explosive play call or the explosive plays. Again, is Iowa State known for it? No, but I'm glad we could come out of the bye and have a game plan ready for what Iowa State was going to bring.
Yeah, I had a buddy text me about, I'm not really happy that we gave Decker, Decker's 300 yards passing. And I'm like, well, he threw the ball 57 times. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do at that point? Like, that's their entire offense. And in college football, 300 yards is kind of like the threshold of like, it's kind of okay. Like, you don't want to let someone get over 400. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a few thoughts, obviously. Billy Bowman's return this week was awesome. We deployed him in a lot of fun different ways. We didn't tell him go be center field. We said, hey, go blitz from the line of scrimmage. Be the nickel back. Take some easier assignments because it's your first week. That's awesome. You know why we can do that? Because Woody Washington plays cornerback and safety now. He's just good at both. He is playing phenomenal football for us
today.
Yeah. Phenomenal ball. That kind of versatility there is awesome, especially with the emergence of Key Lawrence as a safety as well. He started today. He played really well today. A forced fumble that we didn't get the ball, but it knocks it back 5 yards. Those are the plays that turn a game. Look, 57 attempts for 308 yards. If they want to get 5 yards an attempt, I'll take that. The only way they were beating us is zone blitz. We're sending a guy, they hit where the guy came from. That's the only thing they had on us all day long. And we're going to be able to win games if that's all you have on us all day long. We were getting pressure, not sacks necessarily, but just confusing the guy, making him struggle a little bit. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
That's what I said in the preview pod. All you got to do is get some pressure on this guy. I'm not saying you got to sack him every time, but make him think. Make him think about what he's got to do. And obviously, when you make him think, he makes stupid throws like the one at Broyles, like the one at Danny, like just all that stuff. He's not good. He wasn't good enough. So
one more that I had is just David Igwebu played an awesome game aside from the one Decker's scramble that he just got beat on. Yeah. Aside from that, man, he's leading that run defense in a lot of ways, him and Deshaun White.
Yeah. Now look, the defense played very well, and this is kind of my wrap up, and I can let other people talk after this. Two things can be true. This was a very good performance from the OU defense. It can also be true that the Iowa State offense just absolutely sucks. They're just really bad. So do you take this and move on and build from this? 100%. But if you're in that room with these guys watching tape, are you going to be like looking at Spencer Sanders and showing him Decker tape and being like, hey, these are the same guy? Like, no, you're not. Like, that Spencer Sanders game is going to be a lot tougher because he's more experienced. He can throw the ball better, all that stuff. Well, he's not showing it right now. I think the updated
35-0 at halftime.
35-0 You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Emo.
Are we headed to the Big 12 championship?
No.
Dude, okay. But for real, though, they showed the Big 12 standings at the beginning of the OSU Kansas State. They showed it at the beginning of the OSU Kansas State game, and they only showed the top four. And like Texas was the bottom one in that four. And I was like, well, crap. They're like, they have 3 losses in conference or whatever. Right. And I was like,
2.
Okay, 2. Sorry. Yeah. So I was like, oh, they have 3 losses total. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
So 3 losses total. And I was like, we're not gonna make it, but like at least we're not like that far off.
I'm telling you, we can cause some havoc too.
I'm all in to like ruin somebody's
we
December.
Beat Oklahoma State.
All we need is TCU stays undefeated.
Yeah.
And everyone else implodes. And then
we're in
then it's in our hands.
We just need Baylor. We just need Baylor to lose to us and then beat everybody else. That's That's what we need to happen.
That'd be
Ryan,
fun.
that's just what you want to have happen.
I love it.
No, I
Matt,
have one.
Go,
I
Ryan.
have one thing on defense really quickly. And I know I've been talking like this entire pod, so I will give it over to Can after this, I promise. But we did a really good job on defense, like bending and not breaking today. And I thought that was like really, really great, because something that like I was very concerned about was our offense when we were deep in our own end zone. And our play calling was not good. We went 3 and out both times that we were pinned down there. And then we had 2 great punts by Turk to get us out to the 50. And then the defense held them to field goals both times. Like, that's huge. Like, that's 8 points right there that could have been swung their way. And this is a completely different ball game at that point. So like, I just hats off to the defense for really holding them in the red zone and making sure that like not getting that touchdown and holding them to field goals. I think it was awesome.
I think a big point in the game was the turnover on downs. It was Iowa State's like, what is that, second possession, and they're driving. They're about at midfield. They decide to go for it on 4th and 1, and you get a stop. That's massive. That's huge.
And Justin Broyles makes such a smart play. He gets back there, and instead of just making a big hit or something, he grabs him and he falls backwards away from the line of scrimmage.
And
That's
David,
why he's in there.
David Ugwebu deserves credit too. He got that guy off balance by getting him low. So then Justin got him up high. Dude had no power. You can pull him back. So I thought that was a big moment in the game, especially early in the game. Iowa State knows like they're at home. They're gonna try to hit you in the mouth, and you make a stop when you need to. That was massive, because who knows what that drive could have been. Matt, Pat, anything to add on the defense before we move on?
Yeah, I just think Tyson's copying my notes about the turnovers. And then
Sorry.
I said, Ben, don't break it the last 3 weeks. That's been my theme. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're listening, Tyson.
Always listening to you. I'm always listening.
I appreciate that. That's going to be the continued theme. I just want to see this momentum continue to go on, especially when Baylor, Brooklyn T, Sikkim Bears come into town. I just want to see what this defense is truly about. So good game today. We'll see what happens next week.
Pat?
No, we're good.
I thought Jane Davis had a good game too. I wanted to end at that. He had 2 passes defended.
Trey Morrison. If we're talking about the secondary, Trey Morrison came in and played some spot reps and had a very good game too.
He did.
Gentry Williams got some snaps.
Gentry Williams
did not really. I think with Billy Bowman back, but Gentry got some corner snaps. With DJ Graham moving over, they're seeing who can play.
They went right at Gentry the first play he was in, and he got tangled up,
and he pass interfered his way to an incompletion, baby.
Yeah, gotta love it. So good for Gentry Williams. But overall, really good game. Let us know down below in the comments what you thought of this game. Anything? Oh, let's do our MVPs real quick. Let's do our MVPs real quick. Ryan, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with Eric Gray. Cool. Because, and I think I've given Eric Gray like 3 MVPs at this point.
He deserves it. That's fair.
I think he's having a hell of a season. And I think he was really special today against a very good run defense. And I just loved the way that he operates and the patience that he has and just like his technique around it. And I thought he was really, really stellar. And I'm hoping that what could possibly be an injury that we saw at the end of the game is not anything serious, and we see him back next week.
Hope so too.
So far, isn't Texas the only team that has slowed him down?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right on that?
So
I think so. And I think they slowed him down because he was like the only option.
The quarterback.
Yeah. The only.
Matt, there wasn't any other weapons.
Matt, who's your MVP?
Yeah, Mark touched on it a little earlier, and you, Mason, as well. With Deshaun White, the ability he was able to do, I'm actually going to take his other guy. I'm going to take Woody Washington because of his ability to play safety and cover corner, allows other guys to make those plays like Deshaun White and some of those guys. Woody Washington had 8 tackles, 6 solo. And I think most of the time when a ball was thrown his way, he had some really good blanket coverage and 1 pass defended. So really, really impressed with Woody, which is what we wanted to continue to see all year.
Pat?
I got Michael Turk, 2 punts in our own end zone, getting them on the 2. I thought he had a great game, and we're lucky to have him.
Great. Mark?
Man, a lot of good choices here. I will go with Zach Schmidt. He scored our first 13 points on his own. Good stuff out of a kicker, man. Or Brent Venables. Great defensive coaching.
Yeah.
Going
I
with the twofer, Mason
That's a-
Prince style.
That's a twofer.
I thought
Twofer for
Schmidt was
people.
just going to be everyone's mark. We kind of decided that, but
Yeah, I like Schmidt.
just kidding. It's
My
fine.
I logged on 1 minute late, everyone. I missed it.
Okay. My MVP of the game is going to be Jalil Farouk. Like Mark said earlier, they're scheming to get him the ball, and it's very apparent. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he does good things every time. He had a fantastic catch on that overthrow that Ryan mentioned, where he got absolutely crushed in the ribs, and he held on. That's a tough pass to hold on to, and he did. And he didn't feel good after, and he got up, stayed in the game, ran the ball well. Jalil Farouk, my MVP, played really well. Let us know down below in the comments, folks, who your MVP of the game is. Oklahoma Sooners win the game 27-13. They move on to 5-3 on the young season. Well, mid-season, I guess. Who do we have next week? I can't even remember. Baylor next week.
Let's hope I'm not a single man after that game.
You'll be
Ryan's Tyson's Baylor Bears. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
Thick 'em teeth. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, folks. Trying to get to 1,200 subs by the end of the week. That'd be massive if you could help us out with that. We got to 1,100 last week after we called you guys out, and you guys did great. Thank you so much. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, you can find us. We'll be back with you midweek for the Baylor preview show, as well as our regularly scheduled programming. Appreciate you guys. As always, Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing, baby.